Assalamualaikum and hi. I will represent my group to present this project. Our project is sport equipment rental system. As you can see in login page, this page will allow admin to log into the system. First, we have inheritance method, which is public class login page extend JFrame. Now we move to next. Next is the UI components for a login form. This code is creating a basic user login with swing components. As you guys can see, the code that I highlight, this line adds an action listener to the BTN login. It creates a new instance of the button listener class and register it as the listener for button events. It's applied for BTN reset also. Basically, it will add two buttons, which is login and reset, in the system. Private class button listener implements action listener, defined as nested class named button listener that implements the action listener interface. The action listener interface is part of the Java Swing framework and is used for handling events related to user action, such as button click. It requires implementing the action perform method, which is invoked when an action event occurs. So as you can see, public void action perform, and under that is the code to the specific action in the system, in our system. As I highlight in the video, there is a code to connect to our database. In main page, it will display menu option in our system. And in this class, we also have inheritance method, which is public class main page extend JFrame. The code is set up event listener for three buttons, B1, B2 and BTN AZ, and creates a JFrame title main menu. For B1 is created with the label add equipment. This means that when B1 is clicked, the button listener's action perform method will be invoked. Similar to B2, B2 is created with the label add new run. This means that when B2 is clicked, the button listener's action perform method will be invoked. Another J button named BTN Easy is created with the label Easy. This means that when BTN Easy is clicked, the button listener action perform method will be invoked. For the group layout is used to define the layer of the system. So basically, the code is used for system interface. For public class button listener implements action listener, the code is define a class button listener that implements the action listener interface. This class is responsible for handling the action performed on the buttons B1, B2 and BTN Easy. So, if the action event source is the B1 button, it creates an instance of equip page and call the connection. And it applies to B2. If B2 button is clicked, it creates an instant run page. So it will go to the run page and calls the connection method of it. Also, for BTN Easy, It shows a confirmation dialog asking the user if they want to exit the program. If the user confirms the exit, the program is terminated by calling system exit. For public void cat connection, the code defines a method named cat connection. This method is responsible for establish a connection to a MySQL database using JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. In Rampage, we also have inheritance method, which is public class Rampage extend JFrame. Public Rampage. The code is part of a constructor for a class called Rampage. The constructor initializes several GUI components and assigns them to instance variable within the Rampage class. The constructor sets up the initial state of the Rampage class by creating and configuring these components. The code is defined a class named ButtonListener that implements the ActionListener interface. This class is responsible for handling action events such as button clicks. The ButtonListener class overrides the actionPerform method from the ActionListener interface. This method is called when an action event occurs, such as clicking a button. Within the actionPerform method, there are multiple if statements that check the source of event to determine which button was clicked. Based on the button that was clicked, different methods are called. For example, if button add is clicked, the add data method is called, and that goes to other button. So this method are likely defined elsewhere in the class or in related class and are responsible for performing specification based on the button click. In equipage, there are also inheritance method, which is public class equipage extend JFrame. For public equipage, the code define a class named equipage that appears to be responsible for creating a graphical user interface, which is GUI, for the UTM Spot equipment rental system. The equipage constructor initializes a JFrame object named Spot with the title UTM Spot equipment rental system. It also set the resizable property of the frame to false, meaning the user cannot resize it. Overall, this code creates a GUI window for the equipment page of the Spot equipment rental system, including labels, input fields, a table, and button for searching, adding, updating, deleting, and going back. Okay, now we will try to run the system. First, we will enter the username and password, and it will display add new run, add equipment, and exit. First, we will try add new run. We will fill in the information that the system wants. For example, as shown in the video. After that, we will also can update the list and delete the list. For add equipment details, we can add any equipment or spot that we want, and it will display on list. As for now, the spot time and equipment name is already shown that the system have before this, and we can click on back button, so it will display the menu back and we will exit the system. That's all from our group, and thank you.